What's up, guys? We made it to another Friday, so you know what that means. Welcome to another edition of Customer States. As always, I'm Jake Reckes, been in the automotive world for 20 plus years and a service advisor for 3. To my right is my co-host, Mike. Mike, what's up, dude?
What's up, Jake? My name is Mike Serra. I'm a senior master technician, shop foreman, transmission technician, over 20 years wrenching and well over 10 years at the dealer level. And to my left is our warranty wizard herself, Allie Paul.
What's up, guys? This is Allie. Looks like I need to work on my credentials. I've been in warranty for about 11 years now and making it work, getting the paperwork done, getting paid.
Fantastic, guys. Well, thanks as always for joining us. So, Mike, I think we should start this one off with our favorite, drugged out customers.
Who doesn't love a good drug story, huh?
Honestly, man, if
we all have one.
If the customer doesn't walk in, no matter what they're on, and you don't get an immediate contact high, it's not worth talking about. So probably one of my favorite, or the most recent, is recently had a guy come in, pretty normal, like pretty much walks in. We works for a solar business. Seems pretty normal. Walks in and he goes to my partner across the way, and he goes, "Hey man, I just need my car fixed." And I'm like, "Oh, this is going to be a good one." So he's sitting there and he's looking back and forth, and he's got that whole twitch thing to him. He's like, "Dude, I'm going to Vegas. I'm moving. I work for the solar company. I need this car to be tits. Do you know what I mean, man? Just perfect. I don't want to be driving halfway through Vegas and this thing just shits itself."
Oh, but that's going to happen no matter what, bud. But
so he's like, "Let me just give you a quick rundown, man." He's like, "I'm there. Car won't unlock. These stupid keys don't work." And I'm in the back. I'm like, "Did you try replacing the batteries in the remote?" He's like, "What the fuck you mean, man?" I'm like, "The remotes have batteries, dude." He's like,
"Yeah."
Oh my God. And it's just, you see his eyes light up and his brain fucking explodes. He's like, "Dude, I need 2 keys, brakes, flush, transmission. I don't even fucking know, man. Let's do this."
Oh my God. he's got more dollars than cents, some might say.
And like I said, man, it's like, honestly, I've never gotten a contact high off of cocaine, but I'm pretty sure that was a first for me, man. My heart rate increased tenfold.
Smell like gas in there, Jake.
And after all that, it was about 3 years worth of storytelling in 15 seconds. His phone rings. He picks it up and he's like, "All right, guys, I got a split." And he dips.
Without even doing anything? He needed all this work and then he doesn't even get anything done?
Leaves us the car and his business card. He goes, "If you need anything, call me." And just takes off.
Just
oh
a
my, that's a red flag right there.
Oh,
that's
dude,
a huge red flag.
and watching, like I said, the guy across from me, he's an older gentleman, so he's just, help.
This is too much energy for me. I need him to tone it down about 20%, please.
Woodstock was so long ago.
He must have had the acid in the red cup.
So
don't smoke the brown Coke.
So you think you can top it?
Oh, I don't know about topping it, but I can definitely match that one. So this was probably maybe a year and a half ago or so. It's kind of confusing for me because customers always feel like they can just drive directly into like the service lot where all the service cars, customer cars are parked, and where all of our stalls are at. And so
I've been almost run over by customers because of that.
You've almost been run over by our
That's
techs.
the reason. That's the reason why we don't let customers in.
But that was on purpose, Jake.
Right. Shout out to Skeeter.
You're not a warranty administrator if you haven't almost been murdered.
Means you must be doing your job right. So we get this guy. I can't have customers in the lot without being attended by a service advisor or a salesman or something like that, just for insurance purposes. Because again, like Ali stated, it's very dangerous. The techs go flying through there because that's their home, right? Okay. So I see this guy, with the back of his Honda Civic trunk popped open. And by Honda Civic, I mean like 94 maybe Honda Civic. And
this is an 87 Honda. How dare you?
Yeah, it's not Fast and the Furious style. It's like furiously upset style. It's
Furiously sad.
yeah, very, very, very sad.
I bought this with my stimmy.
Oh, that's before the pandemic, so it must have been longer, maybe 2 years ago.
The second one, the $600 one.
Depending upon when this episode drops, I guess. So this guy starts, excuse me, sir. Can I help you with something? Do you need help looking for something or whatever? Just trying to, engage the customer and see what he's all about. So I go and I talk to him, and he's telling me, "Oh, I'd like to speak to a technician." You're addressing me right now.
You're in luck
here. So what can I do for you? He says, I want to talk to somebody about the Ford 6-speed transmissions. Okay, I'm also the transmission tech. What can I do for you? Well, how much do they cost, to install? Well, I mean, it depends on what sort of car you have. Well, in my Honda. What?
Wait, back up.
Okay.
Back it up.
Right. So he's like leaning on his Honda, like all show car style, right? And he's, very nonchalantly asking me about installing a Ford 6-speed transmission in his Honda Civic.
Come on, bro, let's do it.
Wait, what's wrong with that? That's fine, right?
Well, Allie, let me tell you. So as I described to him, I said, well, first of all, I mean, it has to be done by a shop. Like, you can't just in your driveway, you just can't replace the transmission, thinking that this guy is going to do it in his driveway or something. And then I try to describe to him that also the fact is, there's a number of different problems. The computer in your 94 Honda Civic is not going to talk to my 2000 something 2015 transmission, right? Not to mention that the sensors aren't going to plug in because they're all different. There's probably more. The axles aren't going to line up. The thing's huge. Also, how are you going to bolt it to the engine? Because the bolt pattern for the flywheel and the clutch housing, the bell housing is all different. So all these different things, and I'm trying to see what this guy's all about, if he's just trying to jerk my chain or something like that.
And I'm sure you can see just the gears turning. He's like, bro, I know we can do this.
So similar to your
formulas are floating over his face.
Similar to your story, Jake, is all of a sudden he just starts talking faster and faster and faster, and the jabberjaw just gets unreal. And so I realized, oh, this dude is way strung out right now. He's got enough for him and I and the rest of the shop to have a real good day, right? So I'm as polite as I can, because I know this conversation is not going anywhere. Not only is he not going to do this, but he doesn't even have the money to buy tools. And so I said, well, not to mention the adapter plates that you would need to bolt this transmission up to your engine,
yep,
and this torque converter up to your flywheel, all those adapter plates. Well, my buddy's an engineer. I said, okay. Okay, so that's all good and well, but you're gonna need tools.
I'm a Capricorn, but I don't see how that's important.
So I tell him, well, you're gonna need tools. These are my toolboxes. I have tons of tools to do all these jobs. It's not just something that you can do in your driveway. It's not like changing brakes or whatever. And so he pops the back of his trunk and proceeds to show me all these tools in coffee cans and sandwich bags, and it's stuff that when your uncle passes away and you get this shitty tackle box with a couple screwdrivers and a tape measure
and a fucking matchbox car.
It's oh sweet, I'll just put these over here. But this was these guys, these tools were this guy's prized possession, and he's going to replace that transmission in his Honda Civic with a Ford transmission, and nobody's going to tell him differently.
Fucking hell or high water.
Yeah.
He'll come into the dealership later and be like, hey, my transmission blew up. This is under warranty, right? I just bought this thing from you guys.
Well, and just to piggyback off of that super quick, besides the side of drugs, with the whole customers coming in to the backside of the lot, where they just run by, whether there's signs.
Kind of a crapshoot.
It is.
You never know.
Whether you've got signs, I don't care if it's Fremont Street in Las Vegas. You're always going to have that one person where it's I drive a fucking Mercedes. I can park wherever I want.
Oh my God, yes. And so it's very obvious that this is not customer parking. This is the parking where the technicians park the cars to be worked on or to be, washed before they get delivered to the customer. And so you can see cars torn apart, hoods popped open, and there's obviously an area that says, service drive only, or, employees only, please do not cross this line. And they'll just all willy-nilly walk in or pull in, park their car wherever they want, like in the middle of the road.
And the
rules do not apply.
Right. Well, and the bottom of the line is it's all like, I'm busy, you're busy. It is not our job to babysit these people. Like you said, you pull around a corner, you can't see, it's blind, you get hit by a car. That's our fault. Just because you don't know how to read, that's our fault.
Well, and that's the reason, I think I might have mentioned in the first episode, I kind of feel like I'm the sheriff or whatever of the dealership. They always call me, there's a homeless person bathing in the bathroom again. I need you to get him out. Sure, just like you're with the animals, it's me with the homeless people in the bathroom. Okay, so I see somebody in the lot, and yes, it's an insurance liability. You are not allowed to be back here unless you're being escorted by a salesperson or by a technician or a service advisor. In there, we have everywhere pointed, do not cross this line, employees only, all these signs out, and nobody understands. You just can't walk back here. I understand that you just want to look at that car over there, but that car over there isn't your car. It's another customer's car. And if the customer comes over and sees you leaning on it or whatever, they may not appreciate that. Or a technician comes flying around the corner and you're not paying attention because you're looking at your cell phone, reading the news while you're just walking through the lot waiting for your car to be done. It's a dangerous place for you to be, and you shouldn't be there. And that's why we have those signs, we have the gates, and we have all the lettering that says, do not cross these lines. It's for your protection.
Bottom of the line, common sense isn't common.
Oh, yeah. That's a very common thing that I hear. Common sense isn't common. And that's unfortunate. All right, so I got one for you guys. Let's talk about warranty stories.
Oh, hold on. Before we start.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so with warranty stories, as you may know, I'm kind of a little bit of a stickler for warranty stories. And it is because of this story about warranty stories that I'm about to tell you is the reason why I am a stickler for warranty stories. Okay, so we are having a shop meeting, and my shop foreman, or let's put it this way, the shop foreman before I was shop foreman is conducting this meeting. And so we gather all the techs around in a stall, and we're all, inconvenienced by having the shop meeting. And
eyes are rolling.
Nobody likes going to a shop meeting because we all have work to be doing, and we're not doing any work by being in the stall and talking, right? Okay. So he starts this shop meeting, and you can kind of tell that he's a little bit aggravated to start with. Bubba is not what you would consider a tall person by any stretch of the imagination.
Is he short?
Well, I don't know that I would necessarily say short. I mean, he's shorter than I am, and I'm not tall, but he's a great guy nonetheless. I've had two shop foremans that, I have learned so much from, and those guys are the people that I kind of model my career after. Shout out to Bubba and Cliff, and they're my rocks. Okay, so anyway,
man, I'm not to lie, man, or not gonna lie, I'm a little bit jealous.
No need to be jealous. It's okay. It's okay. You and I still have a thing that's never going to go away. So Bubba's conducting this meeting, and he tells us that it's about our warranty stories. Apparently, some of the techs were writing lackluster warranty stories, right?
As they do.
Warranty stories are super important because if you can't write a good warranty story to tell me how and why you fix this vehicle, I can't pay you. So it's something as simple as for me, for example, if I, diagnose the vehicle 100% properly and fix the vehicle and it was a transmission overhaul, but I didn't write physically in my story that I mounted the transmission to a bench fixture, I don't get paid for that specific labor operation.
Yeah, I can't pay you an hour or whatever.
It's the 3 C's. The concern, the cause, and the correction.
Correct. Yes.
Yes. It's the 3 C's. I mean, that is universal throughout any automotive industry, whether you're at the dealership level or not. There's 3 C's, and you have to document that for the Bureau of Automotive Repair, for the manufacturer that you work for, whatever it may be, right? So we have technicians that You know, again, I'm just going to say in my specific department, for a transmission overhaul, man, that's a pretty
doing.
that's a pretty big job, right? Okay, so if you give me 3 sentences as to you overhauled this transmission, that doesn't tell me anything. You need to document all of your, you know, all of your findings. What pinpoint test did you road test the vehicle and monitor the PIDs with the scan tool? All these sort of things, right?
Yeah,
So,
it's not the, you know, customer states, you know, transmission is banging into gear or whatever, found that transmission failed, replaced transmission. It's not, that's not how I can get you paid.
Right. Verified concern, transmission shifts hard, you know, road test vehicle scan tool, monitored PIDs, found blah, 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 tore down transmission, found this is wrong, replaced this and this and this, you know, road tested vehicle after repairs, vehicle operates normally when compared to like vehicle. I mean, you know, that's a very condensed version, but it is something as simple as that.
If a tech fixes a transmission in a forest, does it get paid?
Only if you write a story.
Okay.
The answer is
all right. So again, you know, with the stories, I love having new trainees and I love having new people at the dealership. And whenever I get somebody that's, you know, really green, you know, somebody that's not used to working on cars or never been at the dealership level or just starting out, things like that.
My favorite. I mean, they're so trainable. They're so, you know, I have a guy that started, you know, a couple years ago, and the stories, you know, I give a couple tips here and there, and the stories are great. He's one of my best storytellers, if you will.
You'd much rather train somebody new that doesn't know anything different than what you're about to tell them than, you know, somebody that's been doing terrible stories for 30 years with 3 sentences only for, you know, 7 or 8 hours worth of labor. It's not going to fly for me.
As long as they're willing to learn.
Willing to learn is the biggest thing. So with my new trainees that come in that are willing to learn and they want to learn everything that we're doing, as soon as I can get them through with the R&I, you know, of the parts, you know, I ask them, look at my toolboxes, all my toolboxes, you know, what do you think is the most important tool in here? You know, the scan tool, the torque wrench,
the pen.
Kev, you stole it from me. Yes, you know, I would point to my shirt after they, you know, list all these incorrect tools. I'd point to my shirt pocket and say, it's the pen. The pen, yes, it's mightier than the sword. However, the pen is the thing that is going to get you paid. You can fix a vehicle with your pen. Believe it or not, you know, yes, of course it matters if the vehicle is fixed at the end of the day. However, if you can write a good warranty story and tell me how you fixed the vehicle and all this extra stuff that you did to fix the vehicle, I can pay you for all of that. I can pay you for all of that.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you know, if you tear down the transmission, put it all the way up at 20, 30 hours. If you can't make me, like you were explaining to me earlier, if you can't make an average person understand what you have done who has never seen a car in their life,
yes,
you will not get paid.
That's a great analogy.
It needs to be understood by the layman. So like the customer who picks up their vehicle and is wondering why their, you know, $8,000 transmission overhaul or replacement, it you know, has 3 sentences worth of literature associated with it. Or
you mean people like Debbie?
Just like Debbie. Okay. Or if, you know, for some reason an unhappy customer tries to sue you and now you're in court and the only things that you can bring into court are the documentation that you have. If you have 3 sentences of why you charge this customer, you know, $7,000, it's not going to fly. You are screwed.
You're screwed. By the time it gets to, okay, we're a point where you're getting sued or whatever, that's a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Chances are, like, are you going to remember a job that you did 3 months ago? 6 months ago?
Yeah. And, you know, I don't recall only goes so far in the court of law that, you know, contrary to popular belief.
Yeah.
So how did the meeting go?
So we have this meeting, and Bubba's getting kind of flustered because it should be something very simple. And he says, your warranty stories shouldn't be that hard. Basically the car comes in and it has a problem. You figure out what the problem is, you fix it, and you tell us how you fix it. Think about, a fairy tale. Once upon a time, the customer had this problem, and we found out that it was this, and we fixed the vehicle, and the vehicle left with the customer, happily ever after. And this is what he's drilling into us. We all kind of have a laugh, and it's good to break up a somewhat serious meeting because people are not doing their job.
But is Bubba single though?
and personally, I'm sitting here
No
imagining
offense,
you
Jake.
in a princess dress.
Well, I hung the dress up many years ago, so unfortunately, it's no longer a viable option. And Bubba is happily
and
married.
here's a tale of warranty.
So, we have the shop meeting, and we think that everybody understands what they're supposed to be doing now, right? And I don't know, I'm going to say 3 to 4 days later, we get called out for another shop meeting. And we're like, man, it was like Monday, 4 days ago or whatever, that we had a shop meeting. What's possibly going on right now? Well, now the service manager comes out. And yep, that's an uh-oh. So the service manager comes out, and he says, it's come to my attention
to whom it may concern.
Yeah, to whom it may concern. One of you assholes. So he puts it in nice terms. It's come to my attention that somebody here thinks they're funny, and wrote this story out. And so he he grabs a paper or something like this, very, very loud in front of us, right? And he's like,
oh my God, that manager clear throat thing.
Nothing makes your butthole clench harder than clearing the throat, right? So it comes to my attention that somebody thinks they're funny, and he starts to read the story. Once upon a time, this diesel truck came in, and
shit.
Yep.
I would laugh my ass off. I would.
I'll say his name. Frickin' Tony wrote the whole thing like a fairy tale, and that warranty claim got denied because warranty looked at it and said,
"Who the fuck is this
guy?
Yeah,
what are you trying to prove? What are you trying to do?"
Wait, so it got denied by the factory?
It got denied by the factory because the warranty
it was missing illustration.
But he did the real fancy page headers though at the beginning, so it was okay.
Got his calligraphy artist in there.
So basically what I'm getting at is that warranty is like a game of Dungeons and Dragons. You can't go full fairy tale, but you want it to be that you're actually immersed there.
Yeah, never go full fairy tale.
Yeah, you never go full fairy tale.
And for the non-nerds out there, Dungeons and Dragons, what the explanation is, you want to feel that you are actually there stabbing the dragon.
Oh my God. Jeez, I do not have time for this. I got warranty stories to write, people.
Yeah. So, but another thing about that is, okay, so like part of my job, whether people like it or not, is omitting something that maybe not, I'm not lying. I'm not saying that, something that happened didn't happen. But, if I were to see, like I have seen, and I think I mentioned on the last episode that I've seen in the tech notes, jumped through tech line hoops.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and I get that.
You can't write that.
Tip your warranty administrator, guys.
Yeah. I'll be here all week. Thanks. But, I know that our techs aren't paid to be writers. Mm-hmm. They're paid to turn wrenches.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, but I have to disagree with you right there.
Nobody won a Pulitzer for yet.
Why can't you do it all? Why not?
No, I agree.
Why not?
And see, Mike, with that, it's like you make a good point. It's like
I can do it. I'm dumb as shit. I can do it.
See, but
why can't you do it?
Come on.
At the same time, man, it's like you discredit yourself. It's like you're a good tech. I've seen the work that you've done, but it's like coming from a different standpoint. It's like it's a teamwork type of thing. It's like you come in, the tech has to realize it's like, yes, like Ali said, it's like you have to be there to turn wrenches, but at the same time, there's different, in lack of better words, there's different levels. It's like you're the first line of defense. The actual writer is then there to make sure that either the story is good, something is missed. You want to make sure that the actual customer knows what's going on. And then the final line of defense to make sure that everybody's paid is the warranty administrator. And you're right. It's like a tech should be able to be there with real experience to be able to explain what he's done, write what he's done, really get to the point of what, like we were saying, a regular person could read this story and go, oh, holy shit, he did all of these things to my fucking transmission, and now I know guaranteed that I can either explain it to the customer, explain it to the factory, whatever the case, and everybody gets paid. But those techs are rare to find. It's like when you go to a shop foreman like you, and it goes, you will never find a tech like me, and it's like, sure, it's like, you know, the younger guys will be like, it's showboating, but it's not. Techs are hard to find.
Yeah, they're super hard to find. That's why we're growing them from the inside, and even that's difficult to do still.
Once again, if you're willing to learn, man, it's like the green thing. It's truth. If you set aside your pride, man, when you've got a guy like you,
there's no pride. I mean, maybe that's the problem with this industry, is that there's too much pride,
and that's exactly it. If you can sit down and shut the fuck up for a couple of minutes and let someone like you, do you want to make money? I'm trying to help you, man. This has nothing to do with discrediting what I think you can or can't do. I'm here to help you make the business better, make the warranty administrator's job easier, my job easier, and make you money.
I am all about making everybody's job easier. I mean, that's, again, maybe that's what sets me aside from other people and some people's opinions. But if I'm here to make you the best technician that you can be, man, I am all about that. Let's go. If I'm here to help you understand how your vehicle operates normally, man, I am all about that. Mm-hmm. If you have a question, a technical question about something, come to me, ask me. I'm all about that.
And the bottom line is that it's not, you know, one does not beget the other. We all need each other to make it work.
We're all in this together. Again, we're in the trenches digging each other out. It's
a well-oiled machine, if you will. Sorry, guys, it's the whiskey talking.
Let me just move that bottle away from you a little bit there, Jacob.
Yeah, it's the whiskey and the vape whispers.
The vape.
As an engineer, I can only do so much with. Hey, now.
Hey, that's a horse of a different color right there.
But it's like I said, it's true, man. And you can continue with it, but if you can set aside the pride and just allow yourself to learn, it's amazing what a young tech can really end up with, whether money, experience, whatever the case. The sky is literally the limit. I've seen young guys who are, I don't want to listen to this old fuck, and they fail weeks in. Either, oh, well, you don't.
Well, you should have listened to the old guy that's been doing this longer than you've been alive.
I mean, it comes back to bite you like the once upon a time, and your claim doesn't get paid, and you get back flagged, or you guys get back flagged, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We
I hate doing it.
I mean, I personally don't, because I'm perfect.
Oh, don't.
Right? Don't. Can we get a bell? Can we get a bell?
Don't. And I was going to say, don't even begin to lie. You love back flagging. It's that power move.
I will smite with my almighty smiter.
Well, and you know, speaking of which, with the whole thing with young kids and stuff like that, do you have video inspections at your dealership?
No, I do not. What the hell is a video inspection?
Well, it's an inspection in which you video it.
Jesus, thank you, Mrs. Sarcastic. I really appreciate that.
Sorry.
So at our dealership, to like help with like explaining to the customer and how warranty works and etc. If, you know, a car comes in with, you know, I need an oil change, and also customer states there's an oil leak. When my tech gets that into the air, they're actually with an iPhone that has been given to them. They're actually recording everything from head to toe. So whether it be an oil leak or rodent damage, it's like when when a customer goes, is this going to be covered under warranty? We're going, well, you know, let's take a look-see. Let's get into this first. My tech looks, it ends up being rodent damage, and we go, hey, you've had rodents inside of your car. And they're like, that's impossible. I have an immaculate house in Calabasas, and you need to just stop. And with that video, you can go, well, I get it. It's like nobody wants to admit that this happens, but we have emailed, we have texted, all of these things, and it really helps things, stay transparent.
I mean, I try and, when I'm doing something and I see, there's a fluid leak or something, or yes, with rodent damage, especially with rodent damage, I always take a picture of the vehicle and I send it to the service writer so that they can go ahead and forward it on to the customer.
Right.
And I didn't know that there was like a whole video process.
Yeah,
it's
nice.
It is really nice,
as
man.
a customer, it's nice to, especially as someone who maybe doesn't have the most car knowledge, it's nice to see, like, okay, the brakes. This is how thin your, whatever.
Your brake pads, and also, like you were saying, with on the legality side of things, besides the RO being your protection, it's also another step. It's like if it ever has to come back to that, it's good to go.
Well, it's like body cam police footage, but for the technician.
and nobody gets hurt.
Always CYA. Cover your ass. Always CYA.
It's
always
a good tool for that.
All right, Jake, go ahead and tell them.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break here, listen to the ads, pay the bills. We will be right back.
Welcome back from the break, guys. I hope you refilled your beverages because we are ready to go.
And I got one to start us off real easy, man. So got a customer, basically the know-it-alls, man. It's like, it's fun, but it makes for good storytelling. So I had a customer who came in recently, had a truck. He goes, man, I've worked on this. I know how to turn a wrench. Don't worry about it. I've got you covered.
Oh God. Oh no.
So I'm like, all right, man, well, what's going on? He's like, well, I've replaced a couple of fuses here, man. It's all like I've replaced this inertia switch. And I'm like, oh, all right, man. I'm all like, any particular reason why you've done this? And he's like, yeah, man, I turn it over. It cranks great, man. It sounds bitching, but it just won't start. and I'm thinking in the back of my head, I'm all like, we're already off to a fantastic start. And I'm like, all right, man, is there anything else that you've replaced? And he's like, yeah, a few things here and there, but it's really not important. I'm like,
whoa. A few things here and there. You have a crank no start. You replaced fuses and an inertia switch, and a few things here and there, quote unquote.
Yeah, I'm hearing this car has a vibrant core.
So I'm like, all right, man. So it's like, I write down the notes. I'm all that. I'm like, is there anything else real important that I should really know with this, man? Because I'm like, no start can be a whole bunch of things. He's like, no, man, I really want to get this fixed. It's real important to me. It's like this truck is cherry. It means the life to me and all this. So I just want to make sure that it runs great. I'm like, all right, man, no problem. We start off with our diagnosis fee, regular run of the mill bullshit.
Of course.
And you know how that goes. So I'm like, all right, man, so sign here. I'll get this going. I'll get it to one of my techs that I really know who'll be able to look at this, and we'll be good to go. I'll call you, and I'll keep you in the loop. He goes, okay, no problem, man. And one other thing, this car's like probably been sitting for close to 2 years.
Oh my God. There it is.
And dude, I just...
Is my battery covered?
So it's like... I'm thinking, I was like, man, this dude has just brought his own goddamn shovel.
Oh my God.
Just digging deeper.
So let's just start with getting the old fuel out of there first and see if the thing fires up. Jesus.
So I'm like, okay, dude. I'm like, fine. I'm like, please just leave because this isn't getting any better by any stretch. So get it out to the tech. And he comes in and he reads my notes to the best, basically, sits for, sat for 2 years, replaced the inertia switch, all of this. And he's looking at me like, you fucking kidding me, dude? This thing's a beater. I'm like, no, man. The dude loves his truck. I know this seems grim, but I have a feeling it's going to be something really stupid.
Yeah, something simple, something easy. Just
exactly. But of course, still, he's like, you shut the fuck up. You don't know what I do.
That's when
you haven't seen what I've seen. You haven't been where I've been, man.
You don't know what I've been through.
I've seen some stuff and some things.
That's when, that's when the older cars actually do come to the dealership because everyone else has tried to fix it and it didn't work.
I got news for you. The people that currently work at the dealership probably weren't born when that old vehicle was made. So,
Yeah.
100%, man. It's like, 19 whatever the fuck, but
yeah.
and that's the thing, and it's hard to explain to them. It's like, how many fucking hands has this touched? So, but anyways, goes out to the tech. He's out there. I'm doing whatever I want. However much time passes, I completely forget about it, as writers tend to do. And I know you techs fucking hate that, because when you walk, it's like, all right, what for? It's like, what the fuck do you mean, what for?
Didn't you write this thing up like 3 hours ago? Yeah, that and 7 other cars.
That was 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
So he comes back in and he's like, all right, man, I know.
Bitch, that was weeks ago.
Do you know who I am? So Tech comes in. He's like, I already know what it is, man. It's going to be a fuel pump. I'm like, are you sure? And he's all like, shut the fuck up. Of course I'm sure, man. I've been here for 35 years. I'm like, all right, fair enough, man. I'm like, I just want to be able to tell the customer. So I go out there and he explains to me, he goes, okay, man, with this truck, it's like the fuel pump's really hard to reach to. I can't go, underneath the actual bed and lift it up. There's like 2 inches of fucking clearance to the top of the actual fuel pump.
Oh, I'm quite familiar. You had mentioned that it was maybe a B series.
I
believe
it was a beast.
We'll leave it at a B series, but I'm quite familiar with those vehicles.
Hey, Mike, isn't that like the old?
No, but yeah, true enough, man. It was B series, and I will give this truck credit. Even though it had been sitting for 2 years, it was actually pretty cherry. It looked pretty nice.
Yeah, because it had been sitting for 2 years and you get shopping cart dings at the grocery store.
I just love the mental image of a cherry B series pickup truck. I don't know what a B series is. It's a Mazda. So this guy's talking about a cherry Mazda pickup truck from the 90s.
Don't hate.
Like,
Don't,
dude,
don't
there's
hate.
a parts runner somewhere that's just salivating.
And like Mike was saying, it's a not branded. It's a Fjord. That's FYORD.
You got to fix the fuel pump.
You got to fix the Fjord.
It's not how you spell fjord, but okay.
So it's like my tech shows me, and it's like I said, it's a Fjord. So you actually have to remove.
Yes, they're American, but no, they're speaking whatever.
You actually have to remove the bed. It's like, I know you know this, but it's like, even I was learning something about this. You don't see the B series very often anymore. It's few and far between. And of course, they made a B23 or B2300, a 3000, and a 4000. A BGs. Anyways, so he shows me this whole entire thing, and I'm like, all right, man, no problem. I'll call the customer. And I go, hey, Mr. So-and-so, just wanted to let you know. So we figured out what it was. And he's like, are you sure, man? I'm like, yeah, we're positive, dude. And he's like, how are you so sure? Well, because
it's our job.
But besides, it's our job.
Dude, there's a dope story. You should read it.
Besides, it's our job. It's like, well, man, my tech dumped in 30 metric tons of brake fluid, of brake cleaner, just to make sure that the spark was working. And this thing shot flames like a fucking Elon Musk rocket. We're positive it's a fucking fuel pump. So I'm like, it's a fuel pump, man. This is what it's going to cost to, fix it. It'll drive great. Everything will be good to go. And he's like, all right, man, well, what it's going to cost? I'm like, give or take, you're looking about $1,500. And he's like, that's kind of steep, man, especially for this type of truck. I'm like, I totally get it, man. But you said yourself, you love the truck. It's something like that. It's a piece of you. And he's like, yeah, well, I think I know a guy that might be able to do it cheaper.
Oh, my buddy's a mechanic.
My buddy is a mechanic. I'm like, all right, man, I get it.
I know an engineer.
Yeah. It's like,
hey, Allie, we actually have buddies that are mechanics.
True.
And I'm like, I totally get it, man. It's a little expensive, but I can not to discredit your buddy, but you've got a tech here who's been working on Mazdas for 35 years, and I can guarantee that this work is going to be good to go, and you're not going to have another problem.
Yeah, there's no questions, ifs, ands, or buts. This is going to fix the job, and we're good to go.
Exactly. And so he's like, all right. And I'm like, oh, another guy this time. I'm like, all right, man, I get it. There is one fuel pump left in the United States that will fit this car OEM like you asked me. And he goes, holy shit, man, why are you still fucking talking to me? Hang up and fix it.
I need you to order that part right now.
Stop talking to me.
So and of course, with these customers where they are like, they will call you every 10 minutes to check on their baby. But when you call them, they're not there. So, it's 30 minutes from parts cut off. So I'm calling my parts department, like, dude, you need to order this fuel pump. What fuel pump? Fuck you, man. This is no time for jokes.
Just do it.
Just order the
You know damn well what fuel pump I'm talking about.
Please, man. We're staring at $1,500 in the face here. I don't need jokes. So we get it ordered, and it's like, call the customer. It's like, hey, man, it's like, order the part. Everything will be here tomorrow. Be good to go. So come the next day, my tech starts working on it. I'm like, hey, man, he bought it. And he goes, he bought it?
Really?
Well, the customer
repairs-
needs his vehicle.
Exactly.
But the repair is
So-
worth more than the car is worth.
Hey, sentimental value has no
get that.
price.
Yeah.
But
How-
Can't
how
put
much-
a price on Once Upon a Time, your left out owner.
it's like, bro, I used to take this to the club.
Hello,
Back when that
Miata
was a thing.
drivers.
Oh, God. So
Well, Volkswagen too has all kinds of.
I was going to say, it depends on the following. Everybody has their niche.
Yeah.
But give the car, it's like, get the part, everything. Tech does his work. And I'm sitting in the office, and he comes out, and he's like, hey, man, I need your help. I'm like, shit, the fucking bed. I totally forgot. So he's like, just grab the other side. Dude, it's me and you, and you're 4 foot. Fuck you. And it's like, he's like, oh, it's not going to be that heavy. Fuck you, man. This is 90% of the fucking truck. So we
Hey,
get
I
it.
will speak from experience. Mike and I have personally
Oh,
pulled
God,
a bed off the exact same fucking truck
Really?
on his front lawn.
It-
We have photographic evidence of this. We will post it. Stand by.
And we had to take the camper shell off first. So
Once again, it's a Fjord Ranger for it's the exact same fucking car. So I pull the bed off, and my buddy that I work with goes, that is not gonna lay flat on the ground. And my tech's like, fuck it, it'll rest fine on the it'll rest fine on the mud flats. I'm like, all right, fuck it, you're the boss.
On the mud flaps?
So it's like, it's a plastic protector that goes behind. It's like it's like rigid mud flaps, whatever you want to call them.
Okay.
they're not meant to support the weight of the
My point
bed of
exactly.
the truck.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
So
more
it-
like a mud shield. The flaps have some sort of indication of movement.
A mud barrier,
So-
if you will.
So we set it down, and it looks like a stanced fucking goddamn Forerunner. So I'm like, you know what, man? Maybe we should support this thing. He's like, if you want to do it, you can. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So I go and I grab a few things. We get it flat. Everything's good. So he gets back to work with that.
that is a lazy tech right there.
He-
Sorry. Wow.
And not lazy. He's been there a while, and it's like, I trust him. But I think even in that sense, his knowledge can sometimes get the best of him. So either way, I go back inside, and sure enough, every customer does it. He calls to check up on it, and he goes, we're 60% of the way into this repair. And he goes, yeah, man, it's like, I really have a buddy who could do this. I'm like, I have this car 80% fucking undone. What do you
I thought it was 60%.
Yeah, wait, hold on. As a customer of auto dealerships, being a producer, I have no mechanical experience whatsoever.
And I go, man,
Yeah, I know exactly that's what's going on. It's like, no, we're like 80% done with this thing. It's in the parking lot. They haven't even fucking done the intake form on it. Like,
60% of the time it works every time.
Exactly.
Okay?
I was going to say, what's that?
yeah, well, I guess if you're that far along, you might as well finish.
It works 100% of the time, 60% of the time. So he calls, and I'm like, all right, man. It's like, well, I'm having second thoughts. I'm like, dude, the bed is off. What do you mean the bed is off? I'm like, dude, you have to remove the bed to get to the fuel pump. All right, man, just call me when it's done. Click. And I know for a fact that's the last time I'm going to hear this guy.
Yeah, my buddy's super weak. He ain't doing that.
So he gets all that done. And, of course, every single time you go in, there's always something else that's wrong with it, whether it be hoses, whatever. The car's been sitting for 2 goddamn years.
Oh, yeah.
And
it's going to be
already
stuff that's going to need to be addressed.
Exactly. And it's a 20+ year old car. So the actual rubber lines are leading from the top of the canister that holds the fuel pump are shot. So he's like, oh, dude, my tech's like, you're going to have to call him, and we're going to have to get it. And my other tech goes, dude, we have fucking hose repair kits. Just fucking go get one of those from parts. And I'm like, all right, cool. We're good here. So we do that. He gets it all back together. He goes and takes it on a test drive, and I go out. I'm like, oh, sweet, man. It fires right up. He's like, yeah, of course, man. I really wasn't worried about it. And, as riders, big sigh of relief. everything's good to go. Whether you trust your tech or not, there's always that gut feeling.
Well,
where
I still have, whenever I build a transmission and I go out and I take it for its first maiden test. Okay, good. It's got first gear. All right, good. I feel second gear coming. Oh, third gear's there too. Okay, this might work out. After all these years, I still feel the exact same way. You never know.
Yeah,
right.
Like 6 sequential orgasms after.
Okay.
Or a
Okay.
sixth of a sneeze.
Hey, guess what, customer? I've arrived.
Yes.
Well, that was an interesting test drive.
Yeah, they're always good.
Why do you think they put the seat covers down?
Hey, it's for our protection.
Our protection. So the tech's backing out, and I go out there and I'm like, sweet, it's running, it fires right up, no big deal. And as he is backing this out, the wheels, as he's turning, shake like a motherfucker.
Wait, what do you mean shake? Like up and down, left to right,
Yeah, like
side
vibrate?
to side?
I mean, like you go to the club and you see a bad bitch just shaking left to right. It is bad, man. It is. Imagine literally you go to Home Depot to get a fresh can of paint mixed. That's what the front wheels are
So
doing.
we're
just
talking like 4-wheel spool.
oh yeah,
Where it's just.
it's just and you can hear it going on the actual concrete itself.
Oh my god.
So my tech goes, he didn't ask us to diagnose it. It's just because it's sitting or because it's been sitting. I'm like, oh, okay.
We should make sure that this vehicle is safe to go out on the road.
So I'm like, oh, why don't we lift it into the air? We'll make sure that everything's good. We lift it. There's really nothing wrong. And to be fair, once I really took it to be fair. So when we were looking at it, the tires had a production date of 2011. So these things are weather cracked. There are flat spots. And besides the fact of, like your tractor truck tire story, these are high profile tires.
10-year-old tires are not to be trusted.
Exactly. So
Why?
why?
Because rubber breaks down and deteriorates at a very rapid rate with the ozone effect that happens from the environment.
And then?
Listen, if you guys didn't want a scientific answer, then
You shouldn't come to me in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should
Well-
have asked him because that surely wasn't.
please, you want to talk about ozone?
Yeah, the ozone's affecting the tires.
Yes, it does. O3 affects rubber components and rubber and plastic components.
Well, look at that. Just went to school.
How do condoms work then?
Not very well.
That explains a lot.
Yes, that's why I'm here.
What is it, like the 1-year breakdown period? Because that lines up.
And you know, and it's funny that you mentioned that, man. We started like a kind of running joke with the whole, you know, there is a beautiful, thick, girthy book
Uh-huh.
inside of your glove box
Yeah.
that will explain everything to you about your new vehicle. And we baby. And with this, basically customers forget about this and we're like, did you read your owner's manual? And they get so angry. It's like, it's the Ark of the fucking Covenant. It is the forbidden text. You open this book and your fucking face melts.
Do you see how
Well,
thick,
yeah, I don't got all that time. Fuck, come on, dude.
do you see how thick this thing is? Like, you think that somebody would have spent all this time writing all this information down for you to not read it? It is super important for you to understand how your vehicle works. I can't stress that enough.
Exactly.
It's not funny. It's like, you need to read this. It's just
Well, yeah, and it's not like a cell phone where you can figure it as you go and you can just push backspace or whatever when you make a mistake. It's like you're on the road and you're trying to figure out how shit works, and it's like, no, dude, you're going 80 miles an hour. Like, you need to know this shit.
Yeah, people ask me towing capacities for their vehicle. I don't know. I have to read it in the workshop in the owner's manual. Not even the workshop manual. It's in the literal owner's manual. I have to go pull an owner's manual and find out what your towing capacity is.
How
you can do that yourself, but I'll do it for you, I guess.
How dare you mention the forbidden texts?
Yeah, the forbidden text of the owner's manual.
Or even a quick little Goog. I mean, you could Google it easily too.
That's the cheater's way to do things. But
That would be
Googling.
too easy.
Googly. So we lifted up and it shakes really bad. And the tech's like, look, man, it's an old car. We can diagnose this, but this guy's probably not going to want to do this. Sure as shit, man. I called him like, dude, it's running tits. It started right up. It's great. But and he goes, what's the but? I'm like, well, when he's backing it out, the wheels got to shake. And he's all like, oh, that's no big deal, man. I'm like, well, wait, what? I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, it's been sitting for 2 years, man. I'm expecting a little bit of here and there. Dude, you are my best friend. Come pick this bitch up and let's go get a beer. We're good to go.
Oh my God.
Once upon a time, the best customer came into my life.
So the dude came, he picked it up, he was super happy with it, and honestly, it all's well that ended well on that, but it's rare. But he's like, yeah, man, no big deal. You fixed it. Here's your $1,500. I'm going to go tear this thing up. I'm like, dude, drive side streets. You take this thing on the fucking freeway about 60 miles per hour and this thing's going to pop. He's like, no, man, it'll be fine. This thing's gotten me through for years.
Drive slow, homie.
And I told him, like, look, man, you can
advised customer that vehicle is not safe to drive.
Exactly. And on that legal note, I told him, it's like, look, man, it's all like with this, I've got it in the RO. It states that the tires aren't safe. You're more than welcome to do what you want. I just have to let you know. It's like, sweet, man, you've been awesome. Catch you next time.
Catch you on the flip side.
His guy can fix the wheel.
I know a guy.
I know a guy.
All right, Jake. How about we talk about dealership wildlife stories?
All right, man. I'll start us off on this one. So I had a customer just the other day, super cool guy, super chill, comes in. He's like, hey, man, the whole entire right side of my car just doesn't work. The blinkers don't work. The high beams don't work. Nothing. I'm like, all right, man. Well, right off the bat, it sounds a whole lot like Rodent Damage. He's like,
yep.
Without question. He's super cool about it. He's like, I kind of figured, man, the car's been sitting for a while. And he's like, I kind of figured as much. So I'm like, no problem, man. Write him up. Get him on his way. He's like, give me a call when you figure out what's going on. I'm like, all right. So get it out to my tech. And he's all like, he reads it. He's like, it sounds like Rodent Damage. I'm like, yeah, man, everybody knows everybody knows it's Rodent Damage at this point. So he takes the car, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, it's going to be Jake the Wrangler once again. So I head back in. He gets the car, takes a look-see. He's doing the oil change, and sure as shit, man, a couple of minutes pass, and he comes in. He's all like, hey, man, I need your help. Grab some gloves. I'm like, shit. I'm like,
here we go.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, all right, possum, raccoon, rabbit, buns, whatever you want to, whatever it's going to be today. So I'm like, all right, man, give me a sec. So I throw on some gloves and I head out there, and my one tech, I'm like, hey, man, I'm going to go wrangle something this time. And he's the one with the whole chasing him around with the rat thing. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, it's a bunny this time.
The cutest of all the rodents.
Right. The whole Peter.
Rodents.
Rodento. So the whole Peter Cottontail thing. So I head out there, and my tech's like, I think he's underneath the splash guards and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, man. So go ahead and take it down. And he removes a couple of clips, and he barely pulls it down, and I can kind of see it. He's kind of in the back. And so I'm like, all right, man, no, you're going to have to pull this all down. And in the background, I hear, Jake, wait. And you see my dispatcher running over with his camera. He's like, dude, I'm going to record this. I'm like, all right, man, sure.
World Star.
World Star.
Facebook.com/ Customer States Podcast for evidence.
And I was going to say, it's like, we'll post that picture up. It's a great shot. But so he comes out with his camera, and he's like, all right, man, go ahead and do what you need to do. So tell my tech, I'm like, you got to remove these panels, man. And he peels it down a little bit, and I grab the flashlight from him. I'm like, hey, man, come check this out. My dispatcher gets in, and of course, big old black eyes and just staring there, shaking to death because he just took a drive from who knows where the fuck.
Yeah, that poor bunny.
All the way to the dealership. So I tell him, I'm like, all right, man, go ahead, go to the back of the splash guard and just start making some noise. So he runs up in the front. He's like, all right, so he's banging, and the bunny starts to slowly creep forward. So I reach my hand in there, try and get a hold of him, and he just keeps moving back. He's running up by the pulleys, getting to the top of the engine compartment. I'm like, all right, this is getting old. I'm like, all right, man, drop the whole entire cover. I'm like, just get it down for me. I can't do this. So he drops it, he starts banging, he runs up front, and I just reach my hand in real fast, and I get a hold of like right behind his neck. And hindsight 2020, it's like I'm thinking, oh shit, he's gonna turn around and bite the fuck out of me. So get a hold.
You don't want a trip to the emergency room for a rabies shot?
No, that's not.
I don't know.
Doesn't
Do
sound
rabbits
good.
have rabies?
I don't
Is that a thing?
I don't want to find out.
Yeah,
Fair.
it's one of those things that I wish I didn't know because I'd be better off.
So I get there, and it's like I start to grab for him, and right through the side by the the passenger side wheel well, he starts to shove his face through this tiny little opening, and I get a hold of his butt, and he just jumps out and just yeets himself to the ground, and everybody's like, "Oh!" It's like, "Why'd you do that, man?" I'm like, "Dude, what the fuck? You asked me to come grab the fucking rabbit."
What am I supposed to do? It's lower him down from some chandelier or something?
But did he die?
But did he die? So he hits the ground, he runs off. Everybody says, "Oh, how cute!" I'm like, "Yeah, how cute!" And all that I have to show for it is a handful of rabbit fur.
Tuft of fur.
So he starts running off, and we're all watching. And my parts guy goes, "Is he going to get into another car?" I'm like, "Shut the fuck up!"
Well, I think that it's a possibility. Was that today?
That was actually today.
So it's a possibility that rabbit ran into the showroom, because I heard a story today with my office manager and the sales manager, trash can lids in hand, chasing a bunny out of the sales showroom
So
today.
that bunny for sure ran into the showroom.
Everybody's got the trash. This is Sparta!
So he's running into the window. He's super stressed out. You got two giants like trying to shepherd him outside into the lot. There's customers taking pictures. It was all hell ensues.
Full on debacle.
Just another normal Friday at the dealership. It's no big deal.
Yes,
Of course.
nothing.
We got a hashtag by now.
Hashtag bun bun.
Hashtag bun buns gone wild.
Bun buns gone wild.
Lola leaks.
Show me them buns.
Yeah, hashtag show me your bun buns.
Hashtag show me them buns.
Wow, that's just a story of a different color. I actually have a strikingly similar story about a bunny in a car. So this one was, I don't know, maybe it was during the pandemic, so it was probably
Okay.
So the past year.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait,
definitely
that's all?
within,
You meant just the first 2 weeks, right?
it's in the after times, not the before times.
The durings.
Yeah. So we get this vehicle in, and it's one of the nicer vehicles that we own. But it's just in for an oil change, and for whatever reason, I get this vehicle. I'm still not quite sure. Maybe it's because they trust me with fancier vehicles, but I'd like to think not. So I get this fancy vehicle in, and it's got all these splash shields underneath. So I'm doing the oil change, and I start pulling down one of the splash shields, and again, there's these two beady black eyes, like a doll's eyes,
Just like a doll's eyes.
just staring back at me, and it's a bunny rabbit. There is a live bunny rabbit in this car.
Aww.
Now,
Aww.
yes. Now, mind you, this vehicle just drove like 25 miles on the freeway over to my dealership
A
Yeah, no
stowaway.
shit. Exactly, man. It's
in,
crazy.
in a lowered high performance vehicle. So this bunny's ass is like 2 inches off the ground at any given point in time. He's doing 75 miles an hour. Yeah. Wow! Flying down the freeway to come get its oil changed.
Survival of the fittest. This is the fittest of bunnies.
Yeah, there's like an ET trail of fucking bunny pellets.
Followed straight to the dealership, the little turds.
So I'm in the middle of the oil change, discover that there's a bunny in there. It kind of freaks me out, so I just slam the splash shield back up.
Like, not today.
And of course, the first thing I go to do is run around the shop and tell everybody, "Oh my God, there's a bunny in this car."
Come check it out. Hey.
You simple bitch.
It's amazing though, man. It's like, oh my fucking god, Mike's gonna pull out a bunny. It's like
yeah,
a
there
And
you
for my
go.
next trick,
Damn it,
Exactly.
Kevin, you stole it right out from underneath me.
it's like a cheap birthday trick. It's like, for my next trick.
We all got there. We all arrived there at the same time.
So I all the texts are over, and I say, okay, I need two of you just like pull down the splash shield so I can reach in there and get this bunny, and I get like my big leather gloves on because I don't want to get the herpes or whatever those things are.
Wait, rodentia, herpes.
I can just see you looking at your coworkers. These things have herpes, right? That's what they give you? They're like, yeah, I don't know, man. Rabies or herpes, one of the two.
Reburpees. Reburpees.
So I get the gloves on and I grab this thing, and it's like all wily as all hell, and it's wriggling around in my hands. And yeah, just like Jake said, I got like fur all over my gloves, and I feel bad, but listen, I'm trying to help this dude. I can't just put it back together and tell the customer,
It's
take
part
the
of
bunny
your
back home.
Here's your pet, sir.
So I finally managed to wrangle this bunny out, and he wriggle, as soon as I get him in my hands and get him out of the car, he wriggles free out of my hands and runs across the shop, and there go two lubies running after it. So the whole shop is like, just in an uproar with laughter. And so I they've got it cornered over in Lubrac. And so I run into the parts department, I grab an empty box, and I go over to one of the toolboxes, and they help me get it over into a corner, and I finally swoop it up into the box. And so now I'm carrying this cardboard box around with a bunny in it. Like, you guys want to see? You guys want to see my bunny?
Hey guys, you want to see this bunny?
Hey,
It's a bunny in a box.
There's nothing more adorable.
It's my
than
bun in a box.
Oh, there's nothing more adorable than a bunch of full-grown, burly, if you will, men
Schmoozing over a freaking rabbit.
smooshing
Oh, because
over
who doesn't like a
bunny.
cute little bunny? I mean,
Aw.
it's easy, right?
And hell, man, you could have just walked right down the street and just introduced me to your new furry friend.
so now I've got
Is that
this,
what they're calling it?
my furry friend. So now I've got this bunny in a box, and I'm thinking, oh, so now I have to release this thing. So where does it go? I'm in the middle of like a giant concrete auto mall with nothing but pavement and asphalt and parked cars and moving cars. So I'm thinking, oh, I'll just go put it underneath this bush in the parking lot.
Catch and release into its natural habitat.
I was going to say, bunny's natural habitats are asphalt and cars, right?
Here's a nice car we won't sell in the next 3 months. You can go ahead and make a home in there.
And Jake will find it.
So I put this bunny underneath this shrubbery, and
Is it a small shrubbery?
A shrubbery. If you know,
Bring
you
me
know.
a shrubbery.
So I put this bunny underneath this bush, and it's just staring back at me, and I'm like, go home, like go somewhere else.
Go to your home.
You don't need to be here anymore. They're just looking at me, and throughout the day, texts keep coming up to me and ask me, what are you gonna do with that bunny? What do you mean, what am I gonna do with the bunny? I released it in the wild. It's up to the bunny now to figure out what it's gonna do with its own life. It's not my problem anymore.
It's gonna imprint on you and think it's your, that you're its mother.
It follows me home. Mama.
Oh my god, there's nothing more frightening than that thought.
All right, guys. Well, we've had a long episode. We've talked about bunnies, warranty, the whole line, man. But we'd really appreciate it if you followed us on Twitter and Instagram at customer_states. Facebook is facebook.com/customer states podcast. Email is at customerstatespodcast@gmail.com. And before I pass this off to Ali for a special dedication for this episode, with this whole entire business being family, friends, long-lasting relationships, I want to give a quick shout out to my favorite tech. You know who you are, Mr. Gaio, and your juice of an orange.
Oh, the juice of an
The
orange.
secret ingredient
secret.
Is the juice of an orange. So with all fun aside, guys, like I was saying, with this family and everything that you build in friendships, I'm going to pass it off to our warranty wizard, Ali, to give a quick dedication to somebody that we've unfortunately lost.
Yeah, I would just definitely want to shout out and dedicate this episode to someone that we've recently lost, Mike. He was our shop foreman, and it always takes a village, and we've been in the trenches with each other for over 10 years, and we're going to miss you, bud.
And always, guys, with this, it's like when you wake up in the morning, be thankful what you have. If you're vertical, it's a good day. Don't sweat the small stuff. We will see you on the next recording. And once again, rest in peace to Mike. We will see you in the next life.